then spread or transferred across the market. So, how does it differ with invention? What's the difference between invention and innovation? So, invention refers to the creation of something completely new, never existed before. So, example niyan ay telephone. Now, when we talk about innovation, this is the process wherein we introduce the new characteristics or improvement to the existing invention or product. So, let's say yung telephone, gusto natin siyang i-improve. Now, we want the telephone to be more portable, smaller, and with a touchscreen. So, through innovation, we can produce the smartphone. So, yun po yung difference nila. So what is why do we need Republic Act number 11293? What's the purpose of this legislation? Well, this act exists because of one strategic goal. What is it? To establish a thriving innovation ecosystem where all the stakeholders collaborate seamlessly to create solutions that improve lives and empower the economy. So the question is, don't we have an existing innovation ecosystem already? Well, maybe, yes, we have. But the key word here is thriving. According to the law, we don't have a thriving innovation ecosystem just yet, relative to our neighboring countries in Southeast Asia and even in the rest of the world. So, why? What is the problem? Bakit wala pa tayong thriving innovation ecosystems? Because there are challenges. Next. According to the law, before the enactment, ito yung mga challenges in the Philippine innovation ecosystems. There are 4. Number 1, inadequate human capital and resources for R&D. So how come? We have 110 million Filipinos in the Philippines. Why is there an inadequacy in the human capital? So maybe the reason is that not everyone is engaging in R&D. Huh? So why? Bakit walang gusto ng R&D? One of the reasons again is because of the second challenge. We have a limited infrastructure for R&D and capacity to innovate. So most of our experts and skilled professionals, kasi gusto nila mag-engage sa R&D pero wala namang infrastructure dito, anong ginagawa nila? They go abroad. No? Doon sila, kasi nandun yung innovation infrastructure. So kaysa masayang yung talent nila dito, pupunta sila sa labas. And because of that, for me, the second challenge is the biggest challenge of all. Okay? So the third challenge is weak linkages and limited collaboration among the innovation actors. So we have a lot of innovation actors actually here, but wala tayong masyadong collaboration. Maybe because of our mindset. And sometimes yung culture natin pagiging somehow selfish siguro, no? Yung kanya-kanya. Pag sinabi natin, collaborate tayo, mag-collaborate sa kanya kasi baka mamaya take advantage niya ako. You know, the absence of confidence and trust to collaborate with other partners. Baka mamaya sabihin na, dihado ako dito, ayaw ko na lang. So with that mindset, yun, lalo tayo hindi nakaka-innovate. Fourth challenge is fragmented innovation policies and programs. So we have a lot of government agencies providing services, programs, and support. No? DA, DOST, CHED, and so on. Lahat sila may kanya-kanya targets. No? And before the law, so bahala na dyan kung may duplication, no? Siguro sa DA, or on the agriculture. Sometimes sa DOST meron din, sa PICART, or on agriculture din. So kapag hindi na-synchronize yung programs, nagkakaroon ng duplication, so wastage of resources. So to address this, we need RA 11293. Next. So to solve those challenges, Philippine Innovation Act will establish the framework and governance for innovation, precisely to address all of those challenges by establishing the National Innovation Council. Yun yung para the overseeing body. The law also mandates for the creation of the culture of innovation and to strengthen the innovation ecosystem. Yung existing innovation ecosystem natin is strengthened yan by harnessing the technology and research, providing for more education and the development of more talents, and so on. Okay, so next. So to do that, the law provides for the policy framework. So what's this policy framework or guide? So RA 11293 places innovation at the center of national economic policies and agri-development strategies. That's the strategic priority. Why? Because the government, through this law, recognizes that innovation is vital for long-run sustained economic growth. It contributes to the overall national development. It is crucial for the Philippines' goal to become a high-income country by 2040. So ito yung ambition natin 2040, right? So innovation is also essential for improvement and addressing challenges. Now, for us to succeed, we need a different approach. Now, this law provides for the whole of government approach, which mandates to synchronize all the program executions across DA, DOST, DTI, NEDA, CHED, and other stakeholders. Also, the policy provides for MSME integration because the law recognizes that MSMEs are the backbone of the national economy. So, it empowers local farmers, cooperatives, and agri-enterprises to join the competitive supply chain. The law also broadened the definition of innovation. So, hindi lamang ito, pag sinabing innovation, it's not only about laboratory technologies. It also includes process, marketing, and social business models. Okay, next. So the law also provides for the National Innovation Support Framework through a multi-agency support under the National Innovation Council. Okay, so next. Next. Okay, so these are the... Okay, sige. So these are the key pillars of RA 11293. First is the National Innovation Council. This is chaired by the President. No? The task of this council is to set and create the 10-year policy roadmaps and coordinate the interagency funding for priority sectors like agriculture. The second pillar is innovation fund and credit because we cannot do innovation without the resources, without money. So kailangan meron din tayong provide na pera. So the law establishes revolving grants and preferential credit guarantees administered by NEDA to finance the high-impact agri-R&D and farming enterprises. And lastly, inclusive clusters. So we need to ensure that no one is left behind when it comes to innovation and progress. So we should also provide for inclusivity.
No one left behind. Not only sa education, no one left behind. Learners should be catered.
So, we've been talking about the National Innovation Council. So, sino ba yung mga members ng National Innovation Council? So, according to the law, Section 6, the members, there are 25 members of the NIC. And this is chaired by the President of the Philippines himself. Okay? Then vice-chaired by the Director General. Yung pagpasa nitong law na to is the Director General of the National Economic Development Authority pa. But now, it's the Secretary of the Department of Economy, Planning, and Development, or DepDev. It also has 16 ex-officio members. No? So, the secretaries of 16 government agencies and 7 executive members from the private sectors and other sectors of the society appointed by the President.
Secretary of Education na diha.
Okay. So, the NIC is also tasked, as I have said earlier, to create and set the National Innovation Agenda, 10-year National Innovation Agenda and Strategy document. So, the NIASD was launched on September 27, 2023. And these are the relevant chapters in that document. Chapter 3, it defines the dynamic innovation ecosystem. So in this ecosystem, it places the entrepreneurship at the center of the whole ecosystem. It places the entrepreneur at the heart of the innovation activities. And for the stakeholder to perform successfully the innovation, it needs 5 enabling enablers, innovation enablers. And these are innovation governance, innovation infrastructure, innovation financing, innovation programs, and innovation policy. Next chapter is chapter 4 of NIASD. It sets the priority areas for inclusive, resilient, and sustainable growth. So there are 10 priority areas for the next 10 years, hanggang 2032. And these are categorized into 4. Human capital and research, trade and industry, public services and security, and energy and resources. So, saan nabilong ang agriculture? Nabilong siya sa number 3 priority area, which is food and agribusiness priority area, which is to secure sustainable and competitive food systems for a food resilient nation. Now, this particular area is led by DOST with other member agencies such as DA, DTI, FDA, the National Nutrition Council, DILG, and ICOFID. So,
Benchmarking.
Katulugon ko, sir.
aside from the previous sections, there are also other notable sections in the law. So, particularly sections 21 and 27. So, section 21 provides for the innovation fund. So, one of the key pillars is yung funding. So, in the early years of the implementation, 2023, the government, through this law, set aside 1 billion pesos of innovation fund. 1 billion ang nakalagay. Pero nakalagay dito, subject to availability of funds. So, yun yung maximum. But, nung na-experience namin in 2023, the utilization of that fund is a little more than 10%. Or just over 100 million lang. So, yun. So, maybe because sabi nila, kunti lang yung nag-propose. Kasi itong innovation grant, may proposal to eh. Sabi nila, konti lang doon nag-propose. Pero I think marami naman nag-propose talaga. Hindi lang nabigyan ng opportunity. No? So, yeah. And then the NIC, yun yung nag-administer ng funds for priority areas ng research of green tech, AI, R&D, startup, and social innovation. Now, we cannot rely solely to government grants and funding kasi scarce masyado yung ating resources sa government. So, that's why Section 22 also provides for the innovation development credit and financing. So, hindi lamang puro bigay, no? Bigay na libre, walang bayad. Meron din tayong opportunity to take loans, special loans para sa innovation. So, mandated yun siya ng law. And it's not simple loan, no? Because Section 23 provides for credit quota. Ang sabi, all banks must set aside around 4% of its loan portfolio to innovation lending. So hindi lang simple na nagbigay na kami ng pera, pwede na. Hindi yun siya yung deliverable ng bawat bank. Kailangan na ma-achieve yung 4%. Hindi mo pwede gamitin yung pera na yun for other loan na mga projects at sa innovation na. So yun, credit quota. Section 24 also removes barriers to innovation. So sometimes ito din yung challenge. Andiyan yung innovation, ready na, kukunin mo na lang, i-adapt mo na lang. Meron pa talagang malaki. Because it's very challenging pa mga permits, ang dami pang mga kailangan gawin. So, nahulog na parang, di ko na lang siya i-take kasi ang dami palang bayarin, ang dami palang requirements. So, the law takes away those barriers. Okay? Then Section 25 Innovation Alliances. So, no single stakeholder can stand alone on innovation. So, kailangan natin mag-collaborate. So, the law provides for innovation alliances para i-support yung collaboration among the stakeholders. Section 26, Government Procurement. This particular section allows the government to engage in innovation projects, procurement ng innovation technologies, even though the innovation is still under development or in progress. So, without violating the Government Procurement Act. So, paano nangyayari to? So, the government can pwedeng mag-ask na project-based competition sa kung sino pwedeng mag-provide ng solution sa kanyang problem. So, ang ano nito is, ikaw na researcher, kampante ka ngayon na at the end of your innovation or your project, meron kang government na pwedeng mag-adapt at mag-take over ng yung technology. No? Without necessary parang paano ito, nade-develop so walang adapter. So, hindi lamang pwede na puro na lang private sector ang sinasabi na mag-adapt. Dapat the government also should adapt. Okay? So, ayun. Then, Section 27, Declaration of the National Innovation Day. So, meron na tayong celebration. April 21, every year is National Innovation Day. Okay, next. Ayun. So, now let's take a look at